Hello and welcome to Power Up. Apple have recently announced two new iPads, the iPad 8th Gen and the iPad Air. Both are great additions to the iPad lineup, but with so many iPads to choose from, which one is for you? But first, Tuesday, October 13th is the official Apple event day to announce the iPhone 12. Apple have sent out invites to the event using the tagline, "High Speed," possibly referring to 5G. As always, there's been rumors and leaks on what's to come. We are expecting 4 new iPhones, the names of which have yet to be confirmed, but they're rumored to be the iPhone 12 mini, the iPhone 12, the iPhone 12 Pro, and the iPhone 12 Pro Max. The iPhone 12 mini, rumored to be one of the smallest iPhones we've seen in recent years, sitting between the original iPhone SE and the iPhone SE 2020. With a display size of 5.4 inches. The iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro said to be 6.1 inches, but the flagship phone for this year, the iPhone 12 Pro Max, is set to have the largest display on an iPhone to date at 6.7 inches over last year's iPhone 11 Pro Max's size of 6.5 inches. If this is to actually happen, it could only be good news, as Apple are giving us more choice in our preference of size. On to iPads. There are currently 4 iPads to choose from: the iPad mini, the iPad 8th generation, the iPad Air, and the iPad Pro. Let's take a look at the displays. So the iPad mini and the iPad 8th generation both have Retina displays. The iPad Air has a liquid Retina display, and the iPad Pro has a liquid Retina display with ProMotion. So you might be asking, well, what does that all mean? Retina displays are a term created by Apple that have no solid technical definition. It was introduced by Steve Jobs at the iPhone 4 event back in 2010, and it simply refers to having a display where you're unable to distinguish between individual pixels. And for an iPhone, we're assuming that you're holding the phone between 10 to 12 inches from your face. So a Retina display has a high enough pixel density to make this possible. Pixel density means, or increasing the pixel density means having more pixels packed into the same space, which then results in sharper text and sharper images. This is measured in PPI, which stands for pixels per inch. So because we now have a higher number of pixels packed together, this results in sharper images and text. There are other dependencies, such as the screen size, the resolution, and the viewing distance, which could determine the PPI needed to make a display Retina. So the iPad mini and the iPad 8th Gen both have Retina displays. But what about the iPad Airs and the iPad Pro's liquid Retina displays? So there is a difference in the technology being used to create that Retina display. All iPads in the current lineup have LCD screens, but the liquid Retina displays use a more advanced technology to do this, described by Phil Schiller at the iPhone XR event as the most advanced LCD ever in a smartphone. This also helps with making seamlessly smooth, round edges. The last thing I'd like to mention about the display technology is ProMotion, which the iPad Pro has. ProMotion is all about the refresh rate. Rather than standard displays having a fixed refresh rate, ProMotion allows for the refresh rate to change depending on what the iPad is being used for. So for example, if you're using the iPad to play games, watch movies or TV shows, the refresh rate would be at 120 Hz. But if you would then use the iPad for messaging or browsing the web or reading articles, that refresh rate would then drop as it's not needed for those tasks. On to processors. In the current iPad lineup, only the iPad Air uses the latest A14 chip. The iPad Pro uses the A12Z Bionic chip, which is actually more powerful than the A13, but still falls behind the A14. The iPad Air 2020 is set to be released this month, but with no confirmed date just yet. and I'm pretty excited to see the A14 get tested and how it performs in the real world. However, it is rumored that the single-core performance will outperform that of the iPad Pro. The iPad 8th Gen and the iPad mini both use the A12 chips, which are still good enough to perform the daily necessities, playing games that are not CPU intensive, and of course, watching media. As for hard disk space, the iPad Pro boasts the highest at 1 terabyte, also available in 128 gigabytes, 256, and 512. The iPad Air is available in 64 gigabytes and 256 gigabytes. The iPad 8th Gen is available in 32 gigabytes and 128. And honestly, I don't know why 32 gigabytes is still a thing for a tablet. By now, I would have hoped the minimum would have gone up to 128, or at the very least 64, which is what the iPad mini has done, coming in at both 64 gigabytes and 256 gigabytes. Finally, let's compare the starting prices. The 12.9-inch iPad Pro being the most expensive iPad, if fully maxed out on specs, would cost you a whopping $1,649 in the US, or £1,619 in the UK. The iPad Pro, Mini, and 8th Gen all come in silver and space grey. The iPad 8th Gen and iPad Mini also coming in gold. The iPad Air, however, comes in a wider range of colours, including green, rose gold, space grey, silver, and sky blue. And I'm really liking the blue colours this year, of both the Apple Watch and the iPad Air. So how do you choose which iPad is right for you? Well, if you simply need a tablet device that does the daily necessities, such as browsing the internet, reading some articles, checking email, online shopping, watching media, or some less CPU-intense games, then the iPad mini and the iPad 8th Gen might be suitable choices for you. The Apple Pencil first generation does work on both of them as well. I guess you would really need to make a choice based on the screen size as well, the iPad 8th Gen being a couple of inches bigger. But the iPad mini, because of its small size, is really handy and really easy to carry around, having a screen of 7.9 inches. I do have one myself, and I love it, but my only issue with it is the back of it does get really hot, especially when playing games for a long period of time. A case could help with that though. I believe that the iPad Air will become the default iPad for this year. It is a great all-rounder with the A14 Bionic chip. You can't really go wrong. There is no home button, giving you more screen, and looks almost identical in design to the iPad Pro. The Apple Pencil, 2nd generation, and the Magic Keyboard both work on it as well. You may need to compromise on the hard disk space though if you are hoping for more than 256 gigabytes, but all in all, you still have a lot to play with there. And it also comes in a wide range of colors, which is always a good thing. And with a price tag that's reasonable, it makes it a great choice of an iPad. Even though the iPad Pro is still a really good iPad, not forgetting to mention it has a wide and ultra-wide camera as well as a LiDAR sensor for AR, which the other iPads do not have. Also coming with the A12Z processor and a very large 12.9-inch screen option and a 1 terabyte hard disk choice. It's rumored that there may be a new iPad Pro coming by the end of this year or early next that will most likely contain the A14 Bionic chip or an upgraded version of that. It may also contain 5G capabilities or maybe even a mini LED display. I think more needs to be done now to distinguish it from the iPad Air. So unless you're in a super rush to get one, I mean, it's still a great iPad, but I personally would wait before spending that kind of money to see what happens, maybe this year or early next. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. It really does mean a lot to me. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more. Peace.